Good day, everyone. Welcome to 240, Normal Speech and Language Development. What I'm going to do over the next few minutes is show you how to get through the D2L site and go over the syllabus. Those are my two main goals today, so you get a feel for what's involved in the class, so you know what to expect, and you know what you need to do to get started. So I'm going to do this all through D2L, which will be our major method of communicating with each other and disseminating the material. So you can just open up, or all of you should know this, but if you don't, you can go to uwm.edu, so the UWM homepage, and then right up here, one of the main links is D2L, which is the Desire to Learn system, and that'll open a new tab. Generally, you want to run this on a modern browser. You don't want to be using an old version of Explorer or anything like that. I find that Firefox works pretty well. So then you can log in. So you do your name and your super secret password. Oops, you got to do your password correctly though. Oh, or not. Okay. So you'll see all different types of courses. If you're a long-term UWM student, you'll see lots of courses. You can do these little radar bars or whatever they call them on the side that kind of collapse the ones you're not using. And we want to find the ones that we're doing. So this is summer 2014. My courses in Communication Sciences and Disorders. I have two of them. The course that we are talking about is Normal Speech and Language Development. In fact, I'm going to do this right now so I don't forget. Make the course active. That's nothing you have to worry about. So this course is available and up for you to see. Okay. Let me just make sure of that. Yeah. So we can open it up. Another thing I'm going to do that you won't have to do, I'm going to change my role to the role of a student. So this is what your D2L page should look like. So when you first open the page, you'll see that there'll be different types of news feeds. This is like a news feed, if you will. And I'll put stuff here throughout the semester just to keep you on board and on pace. First things first, this is not a completely self-paced class. You do have flexibility in when you complete the different activities and assignments, but you are expected to complete the different activities and assignments by certain periods throughout the semester. We'll talk about that more when we get into the syllabus, but I'll keep you updated through this news feed here. So what you can see here is just welcome everyone. I want to give you a heads up what to expect for the summer. I'm going to post this link to this video here when I'm done with it. And then I also sent an email before. Whenever you see the blue highlighted things, that means there's a hyperlink. So we'll click on this and we'll see, oh yeah, that's the book that we're reading for this class. Okay. The next main area that you're going to want to get real familiar with is our content link. Okay. So the top level content link, that is, so we have these different categories over here. If you click on table of contents, it shows everything. Or you can click on the individual modules or topics, if you will. So the course overview content, we have the syllabus, which is going to be a very important document for us to be really aware of. I also put the discussion grading rubric here because there will be discussions used throughout the semester, and I want you to be familiar with how I'll be grading those so you can be sure you get all the points available for those assignments. Now when you open these, if you just click on the documents, a version of the document opens in the page, and it usually doesn't look that good in my opinion. So this is going to open a Word document. If you want to save these, so what I recommend doing is clicking on this little button next to it and saying download. Now, if you want to download all of these files to a folder on your computer, that's fine. But I also, if you just want to open them and look at them, I like better to say download and then open. and then it's going to use whatever program, either PowerPoint, PDF viewer, or Word, to open the document. So here we have our syllabus: Communication Sciences and Disorders 240, Normal Speech and Language Development. If this is the wrong class, we don't have that embarrassing moment where you have to sneak out of the back of the room. You can just turn off the computer. But I don't think that's going to be the case for anyone who's watching this. I'm the instructor. I'm Dr. John Heilman. This is my email address, heilmanj@uwm.edu. Far and away the best way to get a hold of me. If you need to get in touch with me, you can either call my office number or my cell number. In the summer, I'm not around that often, or I shouldn't say that often. I won't be around every day in my office. I have some different projects going on and things, so you can also call my cell. Again, the best way is to get a hold of me is to email me. If you haven't heard from me in a day, which should be not very much the case, you can give me a call, or if there's some sort of emergency, you can give me a call. Or even if you want to talk, if you prefer communicating with voice versus written, you can give me a call as well. The course description: this is an intensive study of children's speech and language acquisition and research techniques for investigating children's speech and language behavior. So let's just kind of tease this apart. We're going to describe and discuss children's speech and language acquisition. So how do kids acquire their speech and language? How do they, when do they produce their first words? Are there things that occur before those first words that are going to be really important for later language and communication development? Why do I separate language and communication? Aren't they the same things? That's something we want to think about. Can you communicate without language? Can you use language without communicating? We want to think about, how does speech develop? What about those early cries and babbles and coos? How are those related to later speech-language development? Not only just describing development, and that's an important part of what we do, but we also want to think about why and how these different aspects of language are developing. What does it mean from a general, impression of how the child's mind develops? How does it make us unique as humans that we're really the only species that can use such sophisticated language? And so what are some theories for what causes us to be able to acquire language? So really getting into some of the deeper questions of, what is language development? We do try to keep what we do evidence-based or empirically supported. So we will talk about research techniques and some results from research studies that show us how we know that children's language is developing, what the milestones are, and some different studies that have been done to try to explain mechanisms involved in the acquisition of language. In addition to talking about language itself, we also know that speech and language doesn't occur in a vacuum. So we also want to think about, how are these skills related to other aspects of development? So motor development, fine and gross motor development, social development, cognitive development. So, for example, does the fact that the child's vision improves dramatically in the first year of life, how could that be related to the acquisition of language? So some questions like that. So the course goals, like I said, this will be an introduction to the study of children's language development, and we're going to go birth through adolescence. Most of the focus of this course is, I would say, birth through the preschool years, so birth to age 5 or 6. But we do consider language development 6 years through adolescence as well. Upon completing this course, you'll be exposed to the biological, cognitive, and communicative precursors to language. So really the first third of the class almost focuses exclusively on what is leading up to using language. What are these infants doing who aren't talking yet? What are some things that they're doing that are helping them to later acquire language? We're going to describe the language development, and the major milestones. So there are some really important major milestones that we want to know and consider and be able to measure. We're going to get a new set of terminology, things like syntax, semantics, linguistics, phonology, phonological awareness, phonics, morphemes, all different types of terminology that we're going to be introducing. That's going to be important for us to really understand how these things are developing. And like I said, I'm less interested in the what is developing rather than the how and why it is developing. So we're really going to spend a lot of time talking about the theories on the mechanisms that are responsible for language development. So this course doesn't look at language disorders specifically. There is a course, there'll be a part of a module that is covering language differences and disorders. But this isn't a speech pathology language disorders class. I know a lot of you may be interested in speech pathology, speech language pathology. Some of you may just be interested in this as a GER requirement. I think it's very appropriate for both of those different tracks. For the future speech language pathologists, I think it's critical to have a strong foundation in normal development in order to understand disorders and understand how to treat individuals with disorders. From more of a general education requirement, the GER requirement, or people in psychology, or just sounds like an interesting course, I think that it is an interesting course. And granted, I have a bit of a bias here, but I do think that it is really interesting. By looking at children's language development, we can really take a glance into the development of cognition in humans. And this is something that is important for all of us to consider. What is it that makes us special as humans that allows us to use and understand language? Also, a lot of you will be around kids. You may have kids of your own. You may currently have kids. You'll have kids in the future, have nieces and nephews, neighbors with kids. And I think that, having an understanding of what to expect, what's normal development, and really just being able to appreciate and marvel at what kids are doing in acquiring this really, really complicated system with relative ease. So I think it's really just kind of a fascinating thing to think about. This is a 12-week course, and I have organized the 12 weeks into 6 modules. The reason I did the 12-week course is I really think it gives you more flexibility in the summer. If I did this, as a 6-week course or more intensive course, I think that you would be having to get online multiple times throughout the week, spending 6-10 hours on the course throughout the week. So if you are working in the summer or have to travel, it really could take a bite into that. So I thought it would be better to spread it out over the 12 weeks and have the work spread out and have it be more flexible for you. So it's a 12-week course, and I broke it into 6 modules. Modules may be a little bit different than you've experienced in some of your other classes. Usually it's, in the way I usually do this class in a face-to-face format, will be, we'll lecture for the first third of class, and then we'll take an exam. We'll lecture for the second third of the class, take an exam. Lecture for the third of the class, and take an exam. But what we're trying to do here is get you to think about these issues at a higher level and really have you be engaged in the learning process. It's kind of ironic that often the online courses are more engaging for the students than the large lectures. So what we do is we break each of the we break the 12 weeks into 6 different modules. So each module will have a different concept that we're trying to get across. All right, in the first week of each module, our goal will be just establishing a baseline core knowledge of the concepts. So the goal of the first week within each module is for students to develop a basic knowledge of the core concepts. You'll be expected to complete the readings and associated content provided by the instructor. This will mostly be outline summaries and these video PowerPoints. After studying the contents, I expect you to complete a quiz on D2L. Quizzes will be available Fridays at 8 a.m. and must be completed by Sunday at midnight. So you can see how this is, there's flexibility in when you complete the assignments, but it isn't completely self-paced. So the module will open up Monday morning at 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. and then you'll have Monday through Friday, sometime in there to complete the work. The work will take you, a couple hours maybe, and then you take the quiz. And then the second week of the module is more of an application of the concept. So the goal is to really take one of the concepts, one of the key concepts, a few of the key concepts, and really get at a deeper level of thinking about these. So I will identify core concepts from the module and provide activities that will allow you to reflect on the concepts and develop a deeper understandings. You will summarize your reflections throughout the week. There's going to be different ways of doing this. Some will be discussion boards where you'll have to do an initial post and some responses. There also will just be some short essays, but really, again, trying to get at a higher level thinking with these concepts. The grading is real simple. You'll have 6 modules, and each module has a quiz, so the quizzes will be 50% of your grade, so each quiz is worth about 8% of your final grade. So if you bomb a quiz here or there, it's not really going to affect you. Application activities will be 50% of your grade. This is assuming that each one will be a discussion. That's really not the case. But assuming you have a discussion and responses, it's going to be again, each one's going to be worth about 8.3%, or 4.2% if you think about breaking them down. So you have 6 different application activities. Each one may have up to 2 submissions. That's why that's written like that. The grading is the traditional grading. So it's pretty straightforward. So here you can see the modules. So like module 1, we're going to go do overview of language and describe how speech perception and production develops. And these are the associated readings for these areas, and these are the dates that we're going to complete the module. All right. So on 5/27, the module will open up. You'll be expected to read the information, complete the online content. There'll be a quiz at the end of this week, and then the second week we'll do the application activity. Students are expected to complete 144 hours of time on all class activities. It's just a rough estimate. Some of you it'll be like that, some of you it'll be less. Everyone is kind of an individual learner, but we just want to give you a heads up of what you may expect. This is, you do get a GER, General Education Requirement credit for taking this class. The way I assess this is on the, and the credit we do is to recognize and analyze intrapersonal, interpersonal, and or sociocultural factors associated with individual behavior, collective action, or societal development. So that's really what this class is all about. Is how is, or a big part of it, how are our interactions related to our individual differences, our individual behaviors, and how societies develop. To meet this criterion, you have to score 73% or better on the quizzes for modules 5 and 6. The last part of the syllabus is the honor code. We expect that you don't plagiarize, you do your own work. If you have any disabilities or anything like that, just let me know and I can make any accommodations that would be necessary. Okay, so that is the syllabus. The other thing, like I said, that you probably want to take a peek at is the grading rubric for the discussion. I really laid this out for you. Some of it is just, do you get your information on time and is it long enough? So those should be pretty straightforward. And then also, is this a good quality post? Are you giving it some thought? Are you using the terminology of the, from the course, and are you using it appropriately? And did you write it well? And then for responses, did you do it quick enough? Did you do enough responses? So those are kind of pretty straightforward. And were they well written? Were they thoughtful? I'll talk more about that when we get into our first discussion application activity. The other thing that we'll find here on the content page is the content for all of the modules. Okay, so here we have module 1. This is going to be our first thing that we're going to be looking at. the first two videos, these are videos that are like a voice over PowerPoint. And I'll show you what they look like here. So we can click on one of these. These you can actually click on and it gives you a link to the video. And the video is actually embedded in here.
Here we go. Ready to start. So, if you think of what is the United States represented, what is the...
So you see that I go through a PowerPoint presentation. And I may also pull up a video. So this is a YouTube video. And then I can talk about it. Okay, so those are, you'll really get a lot of the basic information in these videos. That coupled with the reading, you're going to, if you do those, you're going to be in great shape for the quizzes. I also have handouts for the PowerPoints. So what I have with these, these might be good for you to download or print. And it has the slides and it has notes that go along with the slides. Okay, so not only are you getting it from me verbally telling it to you, you can also read along and really understand the content. So you can do this however you want. I think it probably would be good to print this out, watch the video, and then take some notes. I think if you do that, you'll have a really nice deep understanding of it. Or you could watch the video, take some notes, and then go back and use this as kind of a review or a refresher. So that's the content. Discussions, like I said, there's going to be discussion boards, and they're going to be here. We don't have any in here yet. Quizzes will be made available on Friday at 8 a.m. And you can go here and take the quiz. When you open the quiz, I hope it doesn't show you, but there will be a allotted amount of time to take the quiz. So this one, for example, has 21 questions. I gave you 60 minutes to do it, 3 minutes per question, more than enough time. But just so that we're not, you're not trying. I want to have this just so you're not trying to take the quiz as you are watching the video or something like that. Dropbox, when you have application activities that are not discussion boards, you can just go ahead and drop them right here in the Dropbox. And all of your grades will be maintained here in D2L. I think that's pretty much it. Let's see if there's anything else. I think that's it. So, look over the syllabus, think about it. Let me know if you have any questions. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, give me a call, and we can get it figured out. Okay? So I hope you all have a great day, and I'm looking forward to the beginning of a great semester. Bye.